What's good? What's good? Welcome, everybody. The Las Vegas Raiders are creating fear in the hearts of the NFL. It might not be this year, but the NFL is taking notice. There is a lot of talk around the Raiders and what they can do. We have the number one rated tight end in the NFL. We have the 20th rated running back in the NFL. That's all going to change when the season starts. The defense should be flying around. We are 12 days away from rookie camp. The pads come on, the rookies get physical, and we're watching UFC. So, man, what's good? Pull up, leave your takes, ask your questions. It is Saturday, and we are about to watch not only Paddy the Baddy, but Conor McGregor. So, man, what's up? What's good, everybody? And of course, I'm gonna turn that down. I don't know why it wasn't working, but of course we're gonna talk Raider ball. I mean, of course we're gonna talk Raider ball. But let's get into that, right? Shout out everybody in the building. I see y'all, Greg Brewer in the building. What's good? What's good? Coco Dabs. Um, Free Slurpee Day. Oh damn! You better go get your Slurpee. Where's my hat? Which one? Which one you want? There's all kinds of them, bro. Which hat you want? I don't know. I didn't put on a hat today. Felt like going hatless. Hatless. I might throw one on. You never know. I'm surprised you aren't wearing one. Well, surprise, surprise. Full of surprises today. Um, oh, it's 7-Eleven? Oh, it is 7-Eleven. Damn, it's my sister's birthday tomorrow. Thanks for reminding me of a 7-Eleven. Jeez, jeez. Chewy in the building. What's good, my brother? Marcus Banks. What's good? What's good? What's good? All right, so let's get into it before this fight starts. PFF, last place division finishers, most likely from worst to first. Where do the Las Vegas Raiders rank on this list? Well, we'll start at the top. Number one is the New Orleans Saints, right? They got Tyler Shook. They got Chris Olave. They went and got their, probably number one now, wide receiver in the draft. They got good young coaching. And the Saints may be on their way, right? The Detroit Lions, I mean, come on. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. You got Jared Goff, right? They were bad last year, but the year before that, they were pretty damn good. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're one of those teams that go from worst to first, right? So they got the Detroit Lions at 2. The New York Giants. Now this is questionable, right? Because they lost 2 receivers, I do believe, right? They now have Odell Beckham, who is, father time out there. They also have a quarterback that cannot stay healthy. I mean, Jackson Dart, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, but the kid is going to have to learn, young man is going to have to learn when to run, how to run, and when to slide, right? So the Giants, I mean, they have a lot of weapons, right? They have Malik Neighbors. We don't know what Cam Scatterboo is going to be. Are they going to still have the same run game? Is Jackson Dart going to be in his sophomore year what he was in his rookie year? There's a lot of questions to be answered there. The Tennessee Titans, they got Cam Miller. They went and got a damn good coach, a great offensive coordinator, and that team could be on the rise very, very soon. But number five is the New York Jets. Yes, right. Jets, 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 Jets. The Jets are number 5 on this list. How do y'all feel about the Jets being number 5 on the list of a team that could go from worst to first? Now, remind you, in case y'all don't know, their quarterback is Geno Smith. And there were a lot of people in Raider Nation that thought Geno was a top 5, or national media mainly, that thought Geno was a top 5 to 10 quarterback in the NFL. And I believe there are some people still seeing that. that they believe Geno Smith could be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Now, the Jets have an awful lot of weapons. They got a top 10 offensive line. They got a running back that's ranked in the top 10. They got, a star receiver over there. They got a defensive coach with a solid defense. Can Geno Smith do enough to turn it around? That is yet to be seen. But number 6 on the list, right? From worst to first, they have the Las Vegas Raiders, followed by the Cleveland Browns, and followed by the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let me know what you feel about that, right? Arizona, they have a lot of weapons as well. The Cleveland Browns, I mean, Shedeur Sanders is looking pretty nice out there. Let me know if y'all seen any clips on Shedeur Sanders, right? If he could just learn to get the ball out quick and not try to play hero ball, the Cleveland Browns could be scary, man. So if you're a Browns fan, the sky is the limit for y'all. Thank you, President Donald Trump. What? We the people salute you for what? What do you do now? Appreciate the sub. Appreciate you. Wait, who subbed? I just seen it somewhere. It's rude not to say your name. Maybe I can't say your name. Brendan did? I don't know. But appreciate the sub. 6811. Appreciate you for sure. The weekend is going well. Nice. How's everybody's weekend? 7528 in the building. It's been a minute, my brother. Salute to you. It has been a minute. How are you feeling about the season? Where do you think the Raiders could be at? So, they have a 6th, worst to first, right? Now, let's talk about that. Also, Sleepers, if y'all follow Sleepers, or the Sleepers app, this ain't a promo because I'm not sponsored by them. Anyways, they have a projection for 2026. Ashton Jeanty. Man, I don't know why this damn shit's on. Ashton Jeanty, 1,255 rushing yards, 373 receiving yards, 12 total touchdowns, with 281.8 fantasy points. Navy Vet says, I feel like 13-4 every year. I love it. See? I love it. Love the optimism. I feel like that too. Every year should be our year. But this year, I keep saying, why not us? Why not us, right? So, this is a pretty heavy projection for Ashton Jeanty by Sleeper HQ, right? Our Sleeper Raiders, 1,255 yards. With a better offensive line, receivers to stretch the field so teams can't stack the box and they can't just focus on Ashton Jeanty and stopping the run, right? If Brock Bowers is healthy, I could see 1,255 yards. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more, if they use him like they say they're going to use him, right? If they use him like they use Christian McCaffrey, like they alluded to, I could see that, right? I could definitely see that. Now, that's 8 teams: New Orleans, Detroit Lions, the Giants, the Jets, the Titans, Raiders, Browns, and Cardinals that they all think could go from worst to first. But it's funny because all of those teams were pretty much worst. And every year somebody turns it around. So like I keep saying, why not us? Navy Vet, I see you in the building. Jason Ruiz, what's good? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How's your weekend? Are y'all watching the fight? Let me know. If you're watching the fight, where are you watching it from? If you're not watching the Conor McGregor fight, why not? What are we doing here? All right, so on top of all that, the Raiders could go from worst to first, right? But the Raiders are striking fear into the NFL. I'm hearing a lot of talk from some people that I talk to that are like, man, there's a lot of hype around the Raiders and Clint Kubiak and this offensive line. And one big reason I keep saying, if they just figure out who we were in 2024, right? That offensive line was ranked in the top 10 in the month of December. They were ranked top 15 or 13 from then on in 2024. That offensive line had JPJ, had Jordan Meredith, right? Colton Miller. Those are all guys that are still on the team that can make this offensive line what it was a couple years ago. So, if they figure it out when the pads come on and Jordan Meredith starts playing the guard position, this team could be scary, man. This team could be scary, right? If you're looking at Burford throughout his career, he's ranked 61.1% run blocking. Jordan Meredith, 77. There's a big difference there. Jordan Meredith played very well at left guard, right? And I think the Raiders definitely need to figure this out, because if we have the right guys, and hopefully they'll weed through that, right? But they're still playing Jordan Meredith as the center. That's not his spot. That's not his spot. And I keep screaming this. The coaches need to figure this out, man. You got to put this man in and let him compete. If he wins the job, great. If he doesn't, great. But there's no reason to have him as a backup center when you have JPJ, unless they do not plan on JPJ being on this squad, throughout the year. Because Jackson Powers Johnson is a way better center than Jordan Meredith probably will ever be, or not ever be, if he keeps working at it. But last year, it was okay, right? It wasn't great for never playing a position. I thought he played pretty well. But if you look at his stats at guard, the dude's a good pass blocker. He's a damn good run blocker. And I feel like he needs to be out there. So then you look at, Brock Bowers being ranked number 1. Brock Bowers, over 117 targets his rookie year, almost 1,200 yards, right? You know what that system was? Come on, that was Antonio Pierce. That was Luke Getsy. Yes, that was Luke Getsy. But wait till I finish. That was Luke Getsy and the Turners later on down the season. But if you look at Clint Kubiak's system, it's a West Coast system. Guess what the system was in 2024 with Luke Getsy? It was a West Coast system. Guess what blocking scheme the Raiders ran? Anybody want to guess? I got good hair. Not bad for 51, right? Yes, I've been blessed. It's getting gray though. It's starting to get to me like this. But appreciate you. Jack Kenny in the building. What's good, my brother? Jason Ruiz, I got to you, right? Yeah, I seen you. I appreciate all y'all pulling up on a Saturday. Y'all could be anywhere. But yeah, so you look at Brock Bowers, right? And what he did with the Luke Getsy system. 1,200 yards, over 100 catches, a crazy amount of attempts. I don't know what they are. I could pull it up in a minute, but I got something else on my phone I'm looking at. 51 on 55, 56 is a few months. Salute to you, my brother. Happy 56. Remind me when your birthday is so I can make sure to wish you a happy birthday. But yeah, so you look at Brock Bowers, man, and what I was saying, right? Brock Bowers is the first tight end since Jeremy Shockey in 2002 and 2003 to make a Pro Bowl in each of his first 2 years. Now, if you're old enough to remember Jeremy Shockey, that's a damn good comp. And that's a comp that I had him comp to. If you go back and watch the draft review, was a Jeremy Shockey. Now, he don't block like Jeremy Shockey yet, but he's getting there, right? He's getting there. But to make a Pro Bowl in his 2 first seasons, has the 3rd most receiving yards by a tight end through his first 2 seasons in NFL history. Now let that sink in for Brock Bowers. Like I don't think everybody's quite grasping how great Brock Bowers has a chance to be, right? Barring you stay healthy, because that's the biggest thing. He had problems at Georgia. He had problems since he got here. You got to stay healthy. And I don't know if giving him 150 or 170 targets is the best thing for the Raiders to do, right? But to have the most receiving yards by a tight end in his first 2 years is remarkable for Brock Bowers. Seeing how last year he played 12 games, pretty much on one leg most of those games. He also had Geno Smith throwing him the ball, who had 17 interceptions in 9 games, are pretty close to it, right? So, man, Brock Bowers in this system with a running back like Ashton Jeanty, with a guy like Mike Washington, with Connor Hayward as a fullback, with the receivers we got in Trey Tucker. And I know a lot of people are still believing that Trey Tucker is that X receiver. I just don't see that being his role this year. I see him being in the slot. There's been a lot of questions. Who's going to be our slot guy? Well, when you have a guy that's in the slot that can run a 4-3, it makes defenses have to change the way they run defense, right? You can't play a lot of zone when you have a guy like Trey Tucker and a guy like Brock Bowers lining up in the X, right? And a guy like Jalen Naylor, or if you put four out there, Jalen Naylor and Besh, Brock Bowers is going to eat in this offense. But should they give him, should they overdo it? Should he be the number one option? Y'all let me know. But to have the most receiving yards in his first 2 years is crazy to me. With only playing 12 games last year, with the offense we had, with the problems we had, right? So the Raiders are on the rise, and Brock Bowers is the number one reason. He's gonna strike. He's already striking fear into all the teams we play. But then you have Ashton Jeanty, rated 20th in the NFL. Now, come on. Just if you look at Omarion Hampton they had in front of him, says it all, right? Says it all. Yes, he had a crazy year starting out with a bad offensive line. And if he's healthy, he could go crazy this year. But that's just a projection, right? We've seen what Ashton Jeanty did. And 20th, I think it's just a little bit low for me, right? A little bit low. A little bit closer to the top 10, I think Ashton Jeanty is. And I feel like he's going to prove it. Because when you have targets like Brock Bowers, where teams have to double team him, right? You're going to have to spy a man on him. You're going to have to shade guys to him. You're going to have to play press and try to stop him at the line and then pass him off to a corner, because most linebackers can't cover him and most safeties probably don't want to and most corners don't want to either. So it's a problem. It's a mismatch every way around with Brock Bowers. And then you add Ashton Jeanty in a running game with Rick Dennison. I think it's going to be nasty, nasty. So there was a recent poll, top 10 coaches in the NFL. How many coaches in this top 10 do you think the Raiders play this year? Let me know in the comments. Well, I go back and look through them. 51, 50, petty. Brock has the potential to be the best that has ever played, 100%. Yes, if he stays healthy. And I feel like having Clint Kubiak as your offensive coordinator this year, or as your head coach, and Andrew Janocko as the offensive coordinator, if this offensive line can just protect the quarterback with a guy like Kirk Cousins or Aiden O'Connell or Fernando Mendoza, right? We've seen what Brock could do last year with Geno Smith. We've seen what he did with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. I feel like if this O-line is even out of the top 20, right? If they're 15 to 20, somewhere in there, that's a huge improvement. And that makes this offense a lot better. Now you throw in the fact of play action. You throw in the fact of, a lot of plays are going to be moving the quarterback off his spot and misdirection and RPOs. And that changes everything, because you don't have to just throw the ball 20 yards down the field to Brock Bowers. You can get it to him, right, with misdirection, where he's wide open or one-on-one with a linebacker or a safety or a corner, right? And that's forever Brock Bowers eating. So, top 10 coaches. Sean McVay, we play the Rams. Andy Reid, we play the Chiefs. Kyle Shanahan, we play the 49ers. I'm not done. Mike McDonald, yes, we play the Seahawks. Number 5 is Dan Campbell. I don't know about that. I mean, I love Dan Campbell, but I don't know. Number 6 is the disciple of Sean McVay, right? We're at 4 so far. Matt LaFleur. I'm sure his brother's going to be in this list next year. Then you have DeMeco Ryans, and then Sean Payton, Mike Vrabel, and Jim Harbaugh. We play 7 teams out of the 10 that have top 10 ranked head coaches. But it gets better. Don't worry. It gets better. So let me know on this list. Let me know on this list if you would change anything, where you would rank these. Again, Sean McVay, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDonald, Dan Campbell, Matt LaFleur, DeMeco Ryans, Sean Payton, Mike Vrabel, and Jim Harbaugh. What would you change on this list? If you would change anything, let me know. Put your guys in there. You can just put the initials if you want. I'm not on the computer, so I can't leave the list up. Greg, Trajan, and Age. Hope the Raiders have a good this year. I love the Raiders. I love my Raiders for life. Shout out to California born. Salute to you, my brother. Kittles, Gronk, Gates, Sharp are going to watch Bowers pass them up, hopefully. I mean, I believe so. I don't know how. I really don't know how they wouldn't, right? How would they? How is he not? Unless, if he's healthy, I just don't see how he's not, the best of all time. But you gotta play more than 12 games a season, right? Especially now, you got 17 games. A lot of those a lot of those tight ends that were mentioned, right? Some of those guys only played 16 games. I thought you were bald. Haven't seen you without a hat. Nah, bro, I got hair. My shit grows. Appreciate you, my brother. Why does everybody think I'm bald? Put my hat back on and shit. Does it look bald? I don't know. Guess my shit's a little higher than it usually is. It's way up there. I don't know. What's good, my guy Steve in the building? But yeah, so I would say Sean McVay is number 1, right? I got Sean McVay. Andy Reid, if we're going by body of work, I mean, you have to put him at number 2, right? You have to put Andy Reid at number 2. Kyle Shanahan, again, if you're going by body of work, but if you're going by amount of, times you were there and didn't capitalize, I don't know. But what he did last year with that injured squad, no receivers, I mean, I think Kyle Shanahan's got to be on the list. Mike McDonald. I'm going to argue the Mike McDonald one. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Mike McDonald in the first year wasn't all that. And I think this is too early to put Mike McDonald on the list of top 10 coaches in the NFL. Because they left off one that was supposed to be the Raiders coach last year, or some people thought was going to be the Raiders coach last year, who now coaches the Chicago Bears. And I think in what he's done in his body of work, yes, they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but they were damn close. And no, I don't think he should be on this list, but to have Mike McDonald at 4, I think that's a little premature for me, right? There's a lot of coaches in the league that have been coaching a lot longer as a head coach. And looking at his first year, and then looking what he did his second year, which is, I feel, had a lot to do with our head coach, right? Do you think Seattle wins the Super Bowl without Clint Kubiak? Let me know in the comments below. Type 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do you feel like Seattle wins the Super Bowl last year if Clint Kubiak wasn't their offensive coordinator? I'm gonna give you my short answer is no, I don't. I don't think they would have turned that team around. And I'm hoping he turns our team around like he did theirs, right? Because he turned them around really quick. Oh my God, McKinney is killing that dude. Golly, his face is beat up already. Still got 3 minutes in the first round. Dude's bleeding out of. Damn. Sorry, I was talking. I forgot what I was at. But yeah, so I really feel like six. I mean, four. Six is too high, also. But four for Mike McDonald. Come on, man. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Yes, you got a Super Bowl ring in 2 years. I get it. But at least give him this year to see what he does with another OC. Because what he did in the first year, and I know it takes, a year to turn the team around, but the team wasn't great in the first year. The second year, I think it all had, not all of it, but a lot of it had to do with Clint Kubiak's offense. So we'll see if Mike McDonald, but I feel like it's just a little premature to put Mike McDonald on this list. Number 5 is Dan Campbell. I mean, I don't know. He really Mike McCarthy wins 12 games everywhere he goes, right? Isn't he coaching again this year? The Steelers? How can you leave Mike McCarthy off this list? Now, he might not have, a Super Bowl win, but I don't know. I can think of a couple more coaches, but let me know where you think on Dan Campbell, number 5. Matt LaFleur, number 6. I mean, I don't know about that either, right? I feel like Sean Payton, as much as I hate to say it, I feel like Sean Payton is a better coach than Matt LaFleur and Dan Campbell. I mean, the dude's won the Super Bowl. He turned the Broncos around very, very quickly. Within, the second year, they were winning games. So, I don't know. Sean Payton down there at 8. I don't know. Vrabel, I don't know. How y'all feel about this list? Let me know how y'all feel about it. Rebel, I never knew that Bowers ran a 4.5 40. Yeah, you could tell that. I mean, when he gets the ball, it's hard to catch him. It's hard to catch him. If he's got 2 steps on somebody that doesn't run a 4.3, he's outie like 5,000. Kingsbury, the GM for the Bears. No, what is Cliff Kingsbury doing? I don't know what Kingsbury's doing. I know he got fired from the Commanders. Purple in the building. Raiders. What's good, my brother? Jack Kenner says 2. I agree with that. Raiders. What's good? You dye your hair, Rebel? Question. It looks darker. Top right. Nah, bro. I've never dyed my hair in my life. I put that on my children. Okay. I dyed it blonde one time. Does that count? Like back in the Eminem days? No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't from Eminem. But no, my ex-wife went to beauty school. Went to college to be a beautician, and she had to have a guinea pig. So I let her bleach my hair one time. Don't ever do that. That shit hurts like hell. But no, other than that, I swear on my Raiders, on my kids, I'm no dye, bro. It's all natural. All natural. Well, appreciate you. Mark Davis needs to return the team back to Oakland. Bro, I know Oakland fans are bitter about that, and I'm bitter too. But the stadium was falling apart. They did not want to give them another stadium, right? We need our own stadium, our own legacy, not playing in the dirt in Oakland in a falling down, stanky ass, rotted out stadium, right? The city didn't want us. They didn't want us until they got close to the deal in Vegas, and then they were like, "Oh, okay, well, let's talk." No, Mark Davis was already done, right? So Oakland will never happen, bro. It'll never happen. Vegas is home. It's home for life, and I'd be surprised if they go anywhere else unless this team completely flops and they just can't, fill the seats. But other than that, I think Vegas is home, man. We're gonna have to live with that. Oakland will never happen again. No, nor will the tailgates. I think it could be, it could be great in Vegas, but it'll never be like it was in Oakland, right? You'll never have tailgates like you had in Oakland. Not even LA. You'll never have tailgates like you had in LA and Vegas. For one, I don't even think the parking lots are big enough. But I mean, I don't know. So nah, it'll never be the same, man. It'll never be the same, you know, unless we get a black hole in the end zone and fans start going crazy, and you can't replicate what we had in Oakland. It'll never happen, and no team can. It looks like the Chargers are trying to do that right now as we speak. Putting their stadium where they put it. That's my opinion, but yeah, you can never replicate greatness, man. Sometimes greatness comes and goes. This year is testing everything out. New head coach, OC, Rob Leonard first. Both scheme changes. And as a new first, second year players, it will take a bit of time. I mean, you're right, Kenna, right? We've all watched this team for a long time. But we've also watched teams turn it around that didn't have a Max Crosby, that didn't have a Brock Bowers, that didn't have an Ashton Jeanty, that didn't have a Clint Kubiak, right? That didn't have a Fernando or a Kirk Cousins. I mean, the Raiders have something special right now. They have a chance to do something special, right? To come in and turn it around in 1 year would be a huge, huge accomplishment for the whole entire staff, not just Clint Kubiak, but also Spytek, Tom Brady, right? And if you hear them talk, that's what they're expecting. Tom Brady doesn't come out on a podcast and say, I expect greatness, right? Every single day, every hour, I expect this team to get better, right? He expects greatness for a reason. They spend a lot of money. They brought in a lot of players. They've had great drafts, right? And the great Al Davis said, first you get great coaching, right? First you get great coaching, then you get great players, then you just win, baby. And I think they went out and got a great coach. They went and got a bunch of damn good players. And now it's time to just win, baby. Now it could be this year, it could be next year, it could be 5 years. But there's a lot of people talking about 2029 and 2030. And I think that's just too far of expectations away, right? Brock Bowers will be on his contract year by then. Ashton Jeanty will be on his contract year by then. And this will be a whole nother team. Max Crosby in another 5 years is going to be 33 years old. Will he even be playing? Will that knee hold up this year, right? There's a lot of questions the Raiders have. And sometimes you have to seize the moment. And I feel like the moment is now. I mean, you have Kirk Cousins in the building. And if that doesn't work, then damn, you got Fernando, you got AOC, whatever. But I feel like the time is now. You can't look to the future, right? No teams ever build for the future. They try to build in the moment, because they can call it a rebuild. But you're not, you're rebuilding, but we're not going out. Nobody's going out and being like, okay, well, it's a rebuild. So, hey, you guys just go out there and get a participation trophy. Whatever happens, happens. If we win, we don't, right? Just make it a good game. Nah, I feel like they're going out there and they're trying to win. I feel like the people that put all their money into all these signing bonuses and paid all these players guaranteed money want guaranteed results. And if it's not wins, then people are going to be upset. I guarantee you, the people in that building are going to be very upset for the money they spent. If it doesn't lead to at least instant success. And by instant success, that could be 6 games, 7 games, right? Double what we had. So I don't know. It could take time, but again, why not us, right? It could take time, and it could be we could already, we don't know what we have. We could come out in preseason and just shock the hell out of everybody and be like, damn, where did this team come from? Is that the same Raiders? Who is that, right? Because like I said, this offensive line from the month of December in 2024 on were ranked 13 or lower. Some had us 13, some had us at 8th. They had a damn good end of the year. And that's when the Turners took over, right? So when you have competent coaching, everything is better. And you look at the year Brock Bowers had. So, you know, if we can have years like Brock Bauer had with Antonio Pierce, and you don't expect it to be better than that with Clint Kubiak, I feel like people's expectations might be too low, right? That's just my feeling. That's just my feeling. I think some expectations are a little too low for this team, and maybe some don't have expectations, and they're it's like, I just want to see improvement. That's great, but I don't know for the money we spent, right? The money we spent on defense, the money they spent on one center. I mean, the amount of money that they spent on both sides of the ball, and the amount of talent that they brought in the building. I really don't feel like anybody in that building is saying, all right, let's go in there and work our asses off all through this offseason, all through the preseason, and then, just go out there and let it fly. No, I think they have a plan. They have a system. They know what they're trying to accomplish. They all have the same goal, and that goal is just win, baby. But that's just my take. I could be wrong. Jack Gustapa. What up, Raider Nation? What's good? Hey, Rebel, sorry about that. I was in the middle of the game on my PS5. Oh, what's good, my brother? Did you win? Faded Raiders, 16 months. Damn, you are my hero. Salute to you, my hero. That's a long time. I'm still hyped about my Knicks winning. It's our first championship in over 50 years, right? Well, being a Knicks fan, then, man, see, you should have a lot of optimism for the Raiders, too, because we're kind of in that boat. It's been 43 years since we were even in the talks or even getting to smell it. Man, I would love for the Raiders to follow the legacy of the Knicks this year. That would be the greatest thing of all time. I'd be like, yes, take me, Lord. I'm done. I seen another one. Even Athletics left and the Warriors left. Oakland will never happen again for anything but minor league stuff. I agree with that. Yeah, everybody bailed because Oakland just, I don't know. They didn't want us. They didn't want them. They didn't want anything. How many Knicks fans? How my Knicks finally pulled it off relates to the Raiders. That's what I was saying. RPG and Captain Jalen Bronson took a pay cut to bring in the right players for the team, and it paid off. Well, unfortunately, we don't have any team captains that are willing to take a pay cut. Matter of fact, they want money every single year, even if they don't produce. So they kind of got us there. Damn. But maybe in a couple years we'll have some veterans like Brock Bowers that says, you know what? I don't care about the money. Just pay me and take some of that and pay some other people because I want to win now, right? Maybe we can get some people with that character and that attitude. It feels like they drafted some, right? Definitely feels like they drafted some. Congratulations, Knicks. I didn't want y'all to win, but congrats. That's a hell of a congratulations, my brother. Who the hell is this guy? I don't know. It's the same guy, just without a hat. Here. It's me, bro. It's me. What up, Nutty Nate in the building? Raiders. Well, every team except Seattle. with hair plugs. It's messed up, bro. Looks like Rebel but with hair plugs. That's funny shit. Sacktown in the building. The show I was on just ended. Nice. Appreciate you, my brother, for pulling up. Get through some of these damn chats so I can I personally would rather have low expectations and exceed them than the other way around. I agree with that. And hey, I'm not knocking that. If you want to lower your expectations so you can be, ecstatic when they surpass them, that's fine. I like that. Brady Paul in the building. What's good, my brother? You ready for Houston? Get to work 7 p.m. till 3 a.m. Damn. Well, have a good shift, my brother. I'll be on for a little bit if you want to listen. Remember, I got a new phone and email. I lost my wrench. What? I got you, my brother. I got you. I got you. You should be good, my brother. Should be good. Right? The Knicks fans come out of the woodworks. They don't worry because the Raider fans, when we start winning, are going to come out of the woodworks too. There's a lot of them that are, hiding in their hole that won't show their face because, they're ashamed of the product we put on the field year in and year out. And I hear them. I can't do that. I got to be heard. I got to be heard. um, that's the point. We don't have that guy. Yeah, we don't have that guy yet. But maybe Fernando will be one of those guys like a Tom Brady that when it comes to sign his, if it even makes it that long, he might get signed before that. But when it comes to sign, that second contract in the Raiders, if or when or they are or aren't where they're supposed to be, I could see Mendoza being that type of dude, but I don't know. We'll see. Hi today was good. Doppelganger was good, my brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Geomex in the building. Raiders. Y'all watching UFC 329? Who y'all got? Let me know. I've been a Raider fan, die hard since the early 70s. And no one fears us anymore. We will finish fourth in our division for 2 or 3 more years. Oh, shit. Damn. Hate to say that, but we are years away from contending. My guy Snake in the building. My guy Snake in the building. I need to say that comment. Boom. I'll screenshot that. I like that. I don't know. I don't know. I've been a fan since the early 70s too. I mean, 51 years I've been rocking with the Shield. So I get it. I get it. I get it. I just don't see that. I don't see that. I don't know if we're going to be last in our division or not. But I don't see us going 0-6 in our division. I see us being competitive. Salute to the nation. I'm in the emergency room with the IV right now. Damn, my guy Lawrence. What's good, my brother? Or nothing, I guess, but shit. Can we get prayers from my guy Lawrence in the chat? I hope all is well, my brother. I hate hearing that shit, damn it. Got Lawrence in the building, Geo Mex in the building. I appreciate all the family being in the building. If we are building a team right, if we are building the team the right way, thinking 3 or 4 years out as far as what to do with the roster and cleaning dead cap. I mean, yeah, you got to clean dead cap, but we brought in players to win now, right? We have 3 players in the top 100. The Raiders haven't had 3 players in the top 100, and I don't know how long I can remember, right? You bring in guys that are first round picks with chips on their shoulders that had better production, with, with better production than guys making more money than them, like Quiddy Pay, right? I don't know. I don't know. I feel something different, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I've been saying it for the last 3 years. There are good players on this team that just haven't been coached well or had consistent coaching, and it's hard no matter how great your players are to win if you don't have consistent coaching, or within the first week or two, damn, this dude's gone at the end of the year, right? I'm sure by week 4, everybody in that building knew Pete Carroll was gone. I'm sure when he was hired, most people in that building, the OGs, probably knew Pete Carroll was gone at the end of the year, right? It's hard. It's hard to go out there and give it your all and play for a head coach and put your life on the line, 60 minutes a game for a coach that is not going to be here next year, or a coach that you don't believe in the system, or has lost the locker room, right? And I feel like that's been the scenario for the last 3 years. This year is different. They know in that building that Clint Kubiak, even if we do have a losing season, is still going to be here next year. And probably a lot of the guys on the staff, right? They're already trying to change shit. They're trying to do something different. It's been a new head coach and, 2 offensive coordinators every single year, 2 offensive line coaches, 2 quarterback coaches every single year. I don't see that happening this time. At least 3 years. Now, if he's bad this year and next year, then the talks are going to start, right? And most people are going to start yelling, fire Kubiak, because that's what we do in Raider Nation. But I think 3 or 4 years, if you're planning on 3 or 4 years being great and being a dynasty, then you have to start winning now. You can't win 4 games or 5 games this year, 4 or 5 games next year, and then expect this team, to lose a bunch of new players and get new players in, because every year it's a new turnover. So you have to try to compete and win with what you have in the building. You can't look ahead of the future in the NFL or the NBA, because you don't know who's going to get hurt, who's going to be on your team next year, right? You don't know who's going to get fired. You never know. So you have to try to win with what you got. And I feel like we have the coaches to win right now. 9-8, fellas, competitive season, baby. Shit, 9-8 would be great. Too many teams try to win now, and even when they do win now, they typically fall apart the following season. Yeah, but those teams go out and sign 1-year contracts or 2 or 3-year contracts to a bunch of high-profile players instead of draft like we have, right? We've drafted well over the last 2 years. Now, I know a lot of people hate last year's draft because the guys didn't get to show what they can do, but I feel like all those players are going to show what they can do this year with the coaching we have. And we heard Spytek say, you're building for now, right? You're building for the future. They don't want to be a team that just goes out, makes it to a playoff, competes for a Super Bowl, and then falls apart. I get that. But that doesn't mean you can't win now, right? You got to start winning somewhere. If you're going to be a consistent team that competes, you got to start competing. And you got to start competing now. 12-5 this season. High today. Damn, you are high, my brother. But, I wouldn't be mad at that. 39 years since Jay Schroeder. Oh, my goodness. I got a Jay Schroeder autograph over here somewhere. I think that's the only autograph I got left. That's the only thing I got after the fire. We're trying to be competitive year in and year out. I don't think we were last year. Can you really say we were trying to be competitive last year? I felt like they were trying to lose a lot of those games. I mean, my honest opinion. I don't feel like they were trying to compete. I know Pete Carroll was trying his ass off to compete, but by leaving Brendan Carroll as the offensive as a run game coordinator and the O line coach, come on, I don't feel like they were trying to compete at all. Over under 5.5 wins for Mendoza. Over or under? The way it's looking right now, I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say under. I'd be surprised if he plays in 5 games. I really would. But I feel like this is gonna be a better team than it has been. And like I said, I've said it before. The players in the building have been good. Now we got got rid of a lot of those guys, but we brought in a lot better guys. We've have the best linebacker core we've had. Now the depth behind them is questionable, but if they stay healthy in the starters, we have the best linebacker core we've had and shit maybe ever. I mean, since the 70s at least, right? When have we had two guys at linebacker that could possibly go to a Pro Bowl, and then 2 guys on the outside of them that could possibly be Pro Bowlers? It's been a long time. In my 51 years, I would actually have to look it up and ask Google because I don't know when the last time we had two linebackers that could control the pace of the game like we have now, if healthy again, right? Offensive line. I mean, when was the last time the Raiders had an offensive line that had 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, 3 third-round picks? That's 7 guys right there, all first, second, and third-round picks. I mean, to me, just to me though, to me, I think we've done a lot to try to win. Right, prayers to my guy Lawrence, man. I hope all is well, man. Keep me. I told you again. You still never emailed me. Damn it. I need to be in touch. I even got a Silver&Black 2016 Corvette. Send me pictures. I want to see. I definitely want to see. Cute Teddy. Oh, you like Mr. Bear? You like Raider Bear? Say hi, Raider Bear. He likes you too. Thanks for keeping it real. The team's job is to strive. Where's that damn? Shout out for the $2 holla. Hi today. I appreciate you. Shout out again for the $2 holla. I think our team is going to be 14-3 this year. Man, y'all crazy. I didn't mean to gas y'all up so much. Hi today. Shout out for the $20 holla. You should be the coach for the Raiders. Nah, they don't allow rebels to do shit like that. they don't. They don't give us. They don't give us those opportunities. You got to have credentials, and not the paper credentials that I got. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, who is fighting? I missed the last fight. Damn. As long as I don't miss the other one. Right? Lawrence should be in everybody's thoughts and prayers. Prayer hands. Where are my prayer hands? Why won't it let me post prayer hands? I want to see that Silver&Black Corvette though. I definitely want to see that. The team's job is to strive for the Lombardi Trophy every year. The fans' job is to stay behind the team and believe they can get the job done. Well said, my brother. Well said. Right? Believe in your team. Have faith in your team. Because I don't ever see anybody winning the Super Bowl when their team's like, we suck. We're going to win 4 games. We're going to win 2 games. We're going to win 3 games. I don't see us getting past 3 games on this schedule because we have teams that are better than us. That's what makes you better. Beating teams you're not supposed to beat. That's what gets you in the media, right? That's what gets you those primetime games switched up when you start beating teams you're not supposed to beat. So, well said. Yes, our job is to believe in our team no matter what. Now, the last couple of years, it was hard, but damn, I was still believing. And this year, we've done way, way more things to be excited about. Are you excited for the football season? I'm dying for the football season to start back up. Raiders. Don't forget to double tap the screen. Yes, yes. Hit them likes. Hit them likes. You know when y'all hit them likes, it lets YouTube know that, hey, there's people in there that are enjoying the content, and then they send more people over here. So if you're enjoying yourself, hit the likes, double tap the screen. You just got to do this. Pretty simple. Don't cost you anything. It's free. Next man up, dog. Yes, we need next man up. And finally, we have guys that in certain positions where, next man up could be the better guy who just hasn't got his chance. I want to see a change in the coaching philosophy, but the players need to buy into the idea. I get you. Man, some of these nurses in this hospital make me wish I had a blue chew. Fucking Lord. Ah! Oh, shit. Ah. Even in the hospital bed, he's still the funniest man on the planet. This motherfucker. Man, you don't need a blue chew. You need all that blood to go to that damn heart so it works right. You start thinking the wrong things. Raider Jake, what's good? Go Raiders. Long time no see. Navman in the building. What's good, my brother? It has been a long time no see. Salute to you, family. You'd be a better coach than all of them. I appreciate that. Sorry I missed your podcast. I got stuck working. Oh, to Navman. My night's going good, Divinity Tees. I appreciate you. I'm sitting here about to watch Daddy the Batty go do his thing. And then I get to see Conor McGregor fight for the first time in 5 years. So I'm doing good. I tried to send you a super chat, but if this new phone won't let me do it till after July 16th, it's all good, my brother. Just you being here, telling people to like and subscribe. Helps grow the channel. That's kind of a wild card. Is what social culture is Kubiak gonna establish in Vegas? He knows his history. Just wonder if he can get that back with the current roster. That's a damn good question. Back in the day, they were physical, right? Some called us dirty. They had cast wrapped up this big around their arm, and they were, clubbing people, poking people in the eyes on the ground, right? That was Raider football. You can't do that nowadays. So that bad boy mystique is hard to build. But when you have a fast, dominant defense, right? I believe almost all of our corners are in the, below, 4-2, 4-3. A lot of them are, in 4-3s. Some of them maybe 4-4s, but we have fast corners. We have fast linebackers. We have fast safeties. When you're fast, you can play physical, right? And I think that culture will come back as we start to win. Once we show our dominance, man, this defense was not bad last year. I know a lot of people keep saying, oh, they gave up, 6 point something yards per carry or whatever. But a lot of those were when teams were already up by 2 touchdowns and they just ran the ball the whole entire fourth quarter. I mean, what can you do when somebody just runs the ball constantly down your throat because you're beat up, right? So, in the past last year, we were like 14th in the NFL in yards given up. So there's things that you can build off of already that were in the building, and then to add guys like Kwity Paye and Nakobe Dean, and Tyron Johnson, which if he's healthy, is changes this whole entire defense. And then you bring in young guys like Traden Stukes that more than likely is going to start day one. I feel right. I feel with the hype around him, he probably is the free safety day one. So establishing a culture has to do with getting guys to buy in, picking up what you're putting down, right? And to me, from hearing what the Raiders, the guys that have talked and have talked about the difference between last year or the year before and this year, I think they're buying in. And like I said earlier, right? They know that this coach is probably going to be here minimum 2 years, right? Minimum 2 years. But hopefully the 5-year contract that I believe he got, I don't see the Raiders letting him go. They know what they have in Kubiak. They know what he can build. They, as an offensive unit, they can see what the guys that he's, formed around him, and Rick Dennison and Andrew Janoko, and even the guy that the offensive line that got left in Seattle, right? The Raiders know what they have in Kubiak, and Kubiak is definitely going to be the future. So I already feel like the guys have already bought in, right? You don't hear nobody complaining. You don't hear nobody doing those stupid stuff off the field, right? For the first time in a long time, we're not the team that everybody's talking about players getting arrested or doing stupid shit in the offseason. It's teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not us. So I think the culture is already turned around. And if you get guys to believe in the system and believe in the coach and want to go to want to go to war and run through a brick wall, like they did with AP when he took over mid-season, you can change the culture. You can change the culture. But the fact that he took JPJ out of a middle of a practice for jumping off sides, and stopped the practice, and they went and did something else. And when they came back, JPJ was on the sideline and Caleb Rogers was out there. That's discipline. That shows that, look, you're gonna have consequences for your actions. If you're the guy hurting the team, you're gonna be the guy on the sideline. You're not going to be that guy for us. So I think he's already established that. He came in and took the patch off the helmet, right? A lot of people said, oh, this ain't high school. That's not going to work. But I think it opened some eyes, right? He said, you got to earn your shield. And to me, that made everybody be like, okay, what do we got to do to earn our shield, right? There's nobody, we're not hearing, this guy is showing up late, or this guy's not giving 110% in practice. We're not hearing none of that. We're not hearing none of that this year. And I think he's done a great job since he walked in the building, right? He started calling players out day one. Ashton, Jeanty, get ready. You're going to run the hell out of the ball. And then the next interview, he compares him to Christian McCaffrey. So he's putting it on this young group, right? Ashton, Jeanty, you're going to get the rock. Brock Bowers, this dude's a robot from heaven, right? So he's bumping the players up and getting their expectations, right? The way he's talked about Aiden O'Connell when not asked about, the way he's bumped up Fernando Mendoza and, Trey Tucker when not being asked about, and the guys that he's mentioning when people aren't asking him about it, he's going out of their way to say, wait, I believe in these guys and you guys are overlooking this guy, right? Caleb Rogers he's brought up, the way he's working and the way he's showing up early and doing the things he's supposed to do, last one in the building. So I feel like the culture has already changed, right? I really do. And we'll see it on the field. We got, what, less than a month until football? Yeah, about a month to football. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But, Raider Ryan, what's good, my brother? Appreciate you. Are you streaming the whole time Connor's on? Nah, I'll probably turn it off when the baddie fight comes on. Arnie Garza in the building. What's good? What's good? But yeah, all right. Back to what I was talking about. I think I answered most of the questions on here. But yeah, as far as the coaches go, right? We read the coaches. Damn it. I had read the coaches. Make sure we're good. Yeah, so we read the top 10 coaches, right? We play 7. The Raiders play 7 of the top 10 ranked coaches in the NFL this year. That's a daunting task. But what it tells me is the way Kubiak carries himself, the way he speaks. He doesn't seem like a guy that's scared of any of these teams, right? I don't think he fears any of these teams. He showed that with Seattle last year. You know, the way what they did to the Rams, what they did to the 49ers, teams they played 3 times that we played this year, right? He showed that his offense was going to be consistent. They're going to marry the run and the pass, and they're going to run a lot of motion, and they're going to get defensive guessing and defenses moving around and get caught slipping. And then they're going to dink and dunk. And, you know, you can say what you want about dink and dunk, but they are high percentage, quick passes. And to me, that's dink and dunk. When you get the ball out within 2.6 seconds or 2.7 seconds like Sam Darnold was doing, that's dink and dunk to me, right? You're not throwing 30, 40 yards in that amount of time, right? Guys can't get that far. So that's tough, man. That's tough. That means Clint Kubiak, you know, Sean McVay, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDonald, Sean Payton, Mike Vrabel, and Jim Harbaugh, all guys that are ranked in the top 10 that we have to go against. Now, some of those guys, a lot of those guys are offensive coaches, so I think it's more like Rob Leonard has to face those guys, right? He's going to have to come up with something. But to me, that scares me because out of those 6 teams, Mike Vrabel is the only defensive coach out of all of them. Oh, sorry, Mike McDonald. So you have Mike McDonald and Mike Vrabel out of the 6. The other 4 are offensive coaches. So man, Rob Leonard's got his work cut out for him. In the first year as a defensive coordinator, I mean, early in the season, you're going up against 4 of the best offensive coaches in the NFL. That's gonna be a tough feat. And then to pile it on, right? Because I'm not done piling it on. Pro Football Network has graded their highest defenses against the pass in 2025 and for the 2026 season. They are as followed. The Houston Texans, we play them in a joint practice. I will be at the game on the 18th or on the 20th, whatever day it is in August in the heat. I don't know why I picked Texas, but anyways, that's going to be, you know, 2 games against the scrimmage and the game against the Texans is going to say a lot. Our coaches have already talked about how they feel like the roster should pretty much, you know, reveal itself by that time, right? So you have the Houston Texans, 90.4. The Minnesota Vikings, 89.5. The Denver Broncos, 89. The Seattle Seahawks, 88.4. The Los Angeles Chargers, 86.7. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Browns, 85. The Jaguars, 83. The Rams, 83.6. And the Bills, 81.9. Out of the top 10 best graded teams against the pass last season, the Raiders play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if this offense is going to have to be dynamic, they're going to have to be an offense that can't make mistakes, right? You can't get those dumb penalties when the whistle's blown. You can't jump off sides. You can't get holding calls. You can't jump off sides on defense, right? Pass interference. I think they have enough depth that if you do something stupid, you're going to be accountable and held accountable for your actions, and you're not going to be in the game. But that's a daunting task, man. Out of our 17 games, we play 6 teams that are ranked in the top 10 pass defenses. Now, if we just win 1 or 2 of those games, that puts the whole NFL on notice, right? The whole NFL on notice. And again, from what I've heard, the people I've talked to, the shit I've seen, there's a lot of teams that think the Las Vegas Raiders could be that surprise team this year. Right off the rip. Hi, Hawks fan, but I like you neither. You got Dan Campbell vibes, especially on that hat. Only 3 teams are gone from worst to the Super Bowl in history. Just got to temper expectations. A bit nation. We are building and building, looking great. I'm not. I'm not even. I'm not talking Super Bowl. I mean, I know some people in the chat think we're gonna be 14-3, but you know, hey, I'm not hating on anybody and what your take is or what your expectations are. But if there are three teams in the NFL that have went worst to Super Bowl in history, can you name me those three teams? And did those three teams win? Right? Because if there are three teams in the history of the NFL that have went from worst to a Super Bowl, why can't we be one of those teams? I know one of them was the Patriots last year. They went from worst to first, made it to a Super Bowl. They had a young rookie quarterback, right? They had a Stephon Diggs. They had three running backs and a solid defense. And some receivers that can make plays like Booty, who they're trying to get rid of. So, why not us? I'm not saying we are, and my expectations are definitely not Super Bowl. My expectations are competitive, be in some games, and win some games we're not supposed to win. And if we do that, I feel like, we could scare some teams. Definitely. Question: what is your biggest disappointment this offseason? I don't have any disappointments this offseason. I think I'm good. I think everything I've heard so far, everything they've done so far is, you know, nothing I can shake a stick at, right? It's like, I'm good. The only thing I ask is they actually do what they say and, have competitions at positions that should probably have competitions and not have people just handed jobs, right? Whether it be left guard, whether it be quarterback, whether it be the running back room, whether it be wide receiver, whether it be edge, right? So I don't have any disappointments, right? I was happy with the draft. I'm happy with free agency. If I had to pick one, I would say overpaying for a center. I really don't feel like you needed to overpay for a center. It just tells me that they absolutely did not believe in JPJ to be a center. They didn't believe in Jordan Meredith to be a center, and they don't believe in Will Putnam to be a center. That they went out and paid the most money in NFL history for a center. So to me, that's kind of a disappointment. But it's not a disappointment if he plays like the number one center in the NFL. Now, if he doesn't play like the number one center in the NFL, that's going to be my huge disappointment because I just don't understand paying that much money for a center. Brother, not neither. Brother, not neither effing phone. Oh, it's all good. I got you. A madman. So we're saying there's a chance, right? There we go, doppelganger. That's what I'm talking about. So we're saying there's a chance. Let's go. Question: ESPN ranked the Raiders 27 out of 32 teams. Where do you rank us? Lower or higher? Or the same rankings? I don't know, Arnie Garza. I don't know. I mean, ask me that after a preseason game, or ask me that after I'm in Houston and I get to see him live, and I see the effort and the physicality and the want to back, and guys that are out there giving it their all, right? Guys that aren't being selfish, guys that don't need to play 100 snaps a game to get their numbers, and let other guys, you know, give them a break and let them rest and get their get their breath back, right? So, I don't know right now. I don't know. If I had to say right now, I think we're better than 27. I really think we're better than 27. I think we're better than the Jets. I believe we're better than the Cardinals. I believe we're better than Miami. Um, we should have beat Cleveland last year. I think we're better than Cleveland. Who else? Shit, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Somewhere in there, I guess. Sounds about right. Nav man, in case you didn't see it either, salute family. Well, yes or no, Rams 1999 was a crazy turnaround. You think we have that question? I don't know, Nav, man, but I do know that their quarterback came from bagging groceries and Kurt Warner and took that team to a Super Bowl that nobody thought was an NFL quarterback. Kind of like they don't think Aiden O'Connell's an NFL starting quarterback, right? And a lot of people think that, Kirk Cousins, myself, is, past his prime. But if you look at Kirk Cousins' career, he's had many, many seasons like that Kurt Warner season in the Rams. Almost all of his seasons were like that season, to be honest. So you telling me we got a quarterback that's been, you know, ranked in the top 15 his whole entire career until he got with the Raiders and now is ranked 34th and that's his ranking. I believe Kirk Cousins still, you know, could be as good as he as good once as he ever was, as the country song goes, right? I think he's got a couple games in him. Now are they 17 games? I don't know. Do we have a Larry Fitzgerald? I mean, we have a Brock Bowers. Is he compared to Larry Fitzgerald? But if you're talking about a number one target that can create separation, that can get open, that can make every catch you throw to him, I think Brock Bowers could be kind of in that Fitzgerald, right? Fitzgerald wasn't the fastest. I think their speed's even kind of the same. And Brock is more like a receiver to me. So, do we have the defense that the Rams had then? I mean, we have the players. We spent the money. Can they come together like that? That remains to be seen, right? So, I mean, we can't say that it's not possible as much as we can't say it is possible, in my opinion, right? Because anything could happen. That's how the Super Bowl's been won. It's the 65 or whatever the hell we're on right now. That's how, that's why it's been won every year. A lot of those teams were teams nobody thought was going to be in the playoffs. Nobody thought was going to be in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, shit, one of those teams was the Giants that made it at, what, 8 and 9? Just like the Raiders did. Matter of fact, our Super Bowl that we won with Jim Plunkett, we were a wild card team and won the Super Bowl. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I think both of our Super Bowls, we were wild card teams with Plunkett. Right? We can't say it's not possible. That's all I'm saying. Question to you, Frey? Who? A what? What? Bush Raider in the building. What's good, my brother? I prefer to expect less and see more. I'm with you. I'm with you. I just can't lower my expectations when I just fucking bleed silver and black everywhere. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this team is a 4-win team to me, even if we are, right? Even if, but to me, we've never been that. Never been that. So I don't know, but I'm gonna keep my expectations high. We just roll different, and there's not a problem with that, right? There's not a problem with that. Fuck that. I ain't lowering my expectations just because it doesn't happen often. I'm going to have hope and faith that this team can take over. Right? I like that, Candy Angel. I like that. Keep believing. Keep believing. And more people to say that, you never know it might happen. Agree with the ESPN that Jack Best will be our biggest disappointment because Jalen Naylor Benson outplaying him. ESPN does have a damn good point there. I'm not gonna lie, right? If Jalen Naylor, I mean, a guy that sat behind Justin Jefferson and Addison, I mean, I know the dude can run routes, but I know a lot of his game is, inside 10 yards on the inside and a lot of out routes, right? Can Kubiak get the best out of him? I don't know. Trey Benson has already been taking the top off the defense. He went from running with the 3s to the 2s to the 1s very, very quickly. But I believe if Trey Benson is if Malik Benson is taking reps away from anybody this season, it's Dante Thornton Jr., right? If anybody gets cut and doesn't make this team because of Malik Benson, it's Dante Thornton Jr. That's just my opinion. Now, I don't know if Jack Best will be a disappointment. If you look at his 29 targets with 20 receptions, a lot of those came from the X position. And to get targets on the X position, either you win a lot of reps or you get separation to make those catches, right? Just my take. So I don't know how much ESPN really watches Raider games. And from a lot of their takes so far, with the offensive line and the running backs and the quarterbacks and where we're ranked, I really don't feel like they watch a lot of Raider games. I think they watch some highlights, or they have people that go and research what we were, who we brought in, but I don't think they watch a lot of Raider games. And I don't know how much of, you know, Malik Benson they watched, or Jalen Naylor. So both of those guys could get a lot of reps. However, if this team is clicking, right, last year, Trey Tucker had 93 targets. Brock Bowers had caught 67 out of 85 or whatever, right? I mean, that's high numbers right there. We only had 3,000 yards passing with Geno Smith. If they have 35 or 4, right? That's more targets for Brock. That's more targets for Trey, Jalen Naylor, Besh. All these guys are going to eat. All these guys are going to eat. Now, I don't know if Besh is going to be that third guy or that fourth guy, but if he's the fourth guy, I don't see how he could be a disappointment if he's out there like he was last year, getting 29 targets and 240 yards. I mean, to me, that's solid numbers for the targets. If you look around the NFL, 11, what he averaged 11 point, I want to say 11.7 yards per catch. I mean, that's up there with Trey Tucker's numbers. That's up there with Brock's numbers. I'm always all in. Love it, Doppelganger. My guy Bush Raider says, Rebel facts. Kubiak and Spy wanted to establish accountability with removing the shield from the helmets, right? And I think they did that. I think they changed the culture instantly. Once those guys got their, they all talked about it, right? Trey Tucker talked about it. Thomas Booker talked about it. They all talked about it. Jalen Naylor mentioned it, right? And they were all in. They were all in. And it gives you a sense of pride when you take something away and you have to earn it, and you make the team feel like they earned it, right? Now the team feels like they actually earned something in the offseason, right? They went out, they did what they were supposed to do, and now they feel like as a team, they accomplished something together before the season even started. And I think that's huge going into a season, right? Now you go into the offseason and, you go on the preseason and you go and play a team like the Cardinals. And if you come out with a victory, right, now you accomplish something in preseason and your first game is a win. And even if it's preseason, the Raiders haven't won a lot in the last couple of years. So the people that have been here are people, players we got from other teams that know what it's like to have a winning culture, know how to bring that culture in and establish it here. So I think the guys that we brought in all came from pretty, winning teams. Tyler Linderbaum came from the Ravens. They're in the playoffs every single year, right? You get Nakobe Dean. He plays for the Eagles. I mean, in the playoffs every year. You bring in a Quay Walker. Since he's been in Green Bay, they've been in the playoffs every year, right? You go get Tyron Johnson, comes from the Bills. They've been in the playoffs every year. So we bring in a lot of guys that have playoff experience, and I think that's what makes the difference. I mean, that's what made the difference for the Patriots last year, right? They went out and they spent the most money in free agency and they drafted well. This year, we went out and spent the most money in free agency and we drafted well. Will it result to instant success? I'm hoping to God it does. If it doesn't, I mean, I'm not going to be disappointed because it's the Raiders. You can't really disappoint me from anything less than 3-14 and 3-14 and whatever fucking seasons over and over and over again in the number one pick. Man, that's crazy. August 13th is the first game. Nice. 1 month and 2 days to be exact. Let's go. Not that I'm counting or anything. But shit. I try not to count because kind of like my expectations for the season, I just get way too excited and then The days seem longer. The nights seem longer. 8 more Sundays, I believe, after tomorrow. That sounds great. Those Sundays could just fly by, fly by, fly by. I think you're correct. Any my predictions: Cousin will disappoint, losing several games in the final 2 minutes. Mistakes, interceptions, fumbles, and sacks. Arnie Garza, I'm starting to not like you. Arnie Garza, don't make me act like wasted talent. Start blocking people. I'm just saying. Um, Raider Nation will be yelling for Mendoza to replace. Would you? In the first two, how many? How many? My predictions: Cousin will be disappointment, losing several games. I mean, yes, Arnie Garza. Arnie Garza, I don't know why you want to put that on us. Don't you put that bad juju on me, Ricky Bobby. But if you want to put the bad juju on us, I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree. You have to pull him, right? If he comes out, I mean, if he comes out and shits the bed and we lose because of quarterback play, then you have to put in whoever. Whoever. I don't care who it is. But if Mendoza's not ready, you know who I want in. You know who I want to play anyway from the jump. It's AOC. So, and if you feel like that, I think maybe we should just start AOC from the beginning and give him a chance to fail, right? Because then if he fails, two things happen if you start AOC from the jump, right? You give Aiden O'Connell a chance to pump his chest out and do what he wants to do, be a starter in the NFL. But it also, if he succeeds and plays well, and you don't have a future for Aiden O'Connell because he plays a little bit higher than expectations, and you might have a little problem in the quarterback room, then you have trade bait. But on the other hand, if you give Aiden O'Connell what he wants and you let him go out and start the season, which you have nothing to lose, right? Because you have Kirk Cousins behind him and Fernando Mendoza. So if you let a guy like Aiden O'Connell go out, start the season, and he struggles right off the rip, then you could be like, yo, man, look, we gave you a chance to be that starter. If you want to be the backup, we'll keep you around. If not, we're going to trade you, right? That's my take on that. Hey, you guys, I just found more in the comments. You get those XP, you get jewels from YouTube to give to the streamers. Nice. Shout out to that. I want free jewels. What do we got? My guy Doppelganger says, I don't want to win against teams that aren't at their best. Facts, right? If we do, media will always come at us and think we only won because of that fact, right? The last game of the season, the same thing. They're like, oh, well, you only beat, the Chiefs because they didn't have their starter. Well, guess what? A lot of teams miss their starters. It's the next man up. Nobody cares you don't have your starter, and nobody makes excuses for the Raiders when they don't have a quarterback. You must be commenting. The more you comment, the more it tells. XP. Nice. Yeah. Comment, hit the XPs, whatever she says. Confidence level in Cousins is a 5. He will be the same he was in Atlanta. Arnie Garza, you're killing me. You're breaking my heart over here, bro. Come on, man. Come on, Mr. Garza. Don't do me like that. Would I be a shitty Raider fan if I said I hope so? Would I be a shitty Raider fan if I said I hope he does struggle so we can see Aiden O'Connell? And then if he struggles, that's good. We know to get rid of both of them. Would I be a shitty Raider fan for that? I don't know. Because to me, I really don't give a shit about Kirk Cousins. I'm going to be honest. I'm a Raider. I'm a Raider, homie. Right? Raider, homie. I believe this shit. And I want Raiders, drafted Raiders. If you have a drafted Raider in the building, play that damn Raider. or not, get rid of him because obviously you don't have plans for the future, right? And that's my take on that. I'm tired of seeing guys come in and get credit. I'm not gonna name no names, but guys that were brought in free agency and took us to playoffs or Super Bowls or whatever and get labeled as the greatest Raider quarterbacks to ever play, while guys that were here for 10 years and gave their heart and soul and did everything, you know, get shit on. So I'm a Raider fan, and for me, I want to see every Raider drafted a Raider that has a chance to play before I see any free agent. Even if it's my most favorite free agent in the whole damn world, and you go get him, I'm still gonna be like, damn, to play this damn Raider first. That's just me. That's my take. So I don't care what the player is or what the position is. I want to see Raiders play. You draft guys for a reason. Give them an opportunity, right? And if you're not going to give them an opportunity, then what the hell are they doing in the building? So I hope Kirk Cousins does well if he gets to start. But, I wouldn't be mad if he struggled in the preseason and somebody else got to start. I'm just going to say that right now. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. But if your confidence level is a 5, that's scary, right? Because I don't feel like Mendoza is ready no matter how good everybody says he is. The kid had some issues in college, and those issues are showing in camp. The frustration of not being perfect, of wanting to be perfect, that's a great thing to have. But it's also, it could also be a bad thing if it's not tempered in the right expectations. So I just don't see Kirk Cousins being the same in Atlanta. Now, you could look at Atlanta and say you had Drake London. Golly. You had Kyle Pitts. You had Bijan Robinson. You had a top 5 ranked offensive line. You could look at all that. But you could also say Kirk Cousins was coming 2 years off a removed ACL, which is really, really hard to recover from. Just look at what Aaron Rodgers has done in his career since he tore his ACL with the Jets. It has not been the same. Yes, he's up there in age. Yes, he's a couple more years than Kirk Cousins, but they're around the same age, right? So for me, I kind of agree with you, Arnie Garza. I kind of agree with you. Looking at Kirk Cousins' history, he has been great throughout his career. But before the injury and after the injury, or just after the injury, man, even before, right? The interceptions went up, the touchdowns went down, the yards were still the same, but look at the guys he was throwing the football to. I feel that. I just hope to God you're wrong. Because if he is, that means we're putting a rookie out there that is probably not ready way too early, or we're throwing Aiden O'Connell out there, and I wouldn't be mad at that. They said he's going to have a top 5 defense. They said they're going to have a top 5 defense. Fambo Podcast, what's good, my brother? What, the Raiders? A top 10 defense? I mean, with the money they're paying their defense, and as high as our rookies were drafted, second round safety, third round edge rusher, right? I feel like they really should be somewhere close to the top 10. Now, can they do that in the first year with the Rob Leonard first year going against 6 out of the 10 top 10 head coaches? I don't know. But, man, I would love that. I just spoke with Dre, and he said that's the biggest issue of I'm having is AOC is still on the team. AOC is killing me. Man, we're going to have to trade AOC so my guy Lawrence could have a longer, prosperous life. This is fucked up. The doc said you're killing me. AOC is killing my guy. That's messed up, Lawrence. That's messed up. Right? This guy. Might want a second opinion. Yeah, because damn, if he goes out there and plays good in the preseason, shit, he might get a future contract. And then what? Absolutely shit my pants. when y'all paid that much for Tyler Linderbaum. That screws up the market for every GM who feels like no offensive lineman is worth that kind of money. I swear, no team is gonna. I'm right there with you, my brother. I feel you 100%. I don't know if I shit my pants, but you know that's that's a little much. Nah, but real talk though, I was too, bro. I was. I, I, I. But again, I'm just that rebel. I'm just that rebel. I go against everybody's takes. I go against what everybody says. Is there a reason? Absolutely, right? Because most of the Raider Nation feels one thing. Tyler Linderbaum is the greatest center to ever play the game. But they love JPJ. Tyler Linderbaum's 25, man. He has some good seasons. But if you look at his rookie season compared to JPJ and the difference of having the same head coach, the same, offensive guys and all that shit. Oh my God, it is loud out here. The bugs are crazy today. I'm really pissed off that they didn't give JPJ another chance to play center with this coaching staff. Now, I get it. It's a new head coach. You got to make a splash, right? You got to get everybody involved. And the best way to get everybody involved is to go out and spend money on the best players or what the nation thought was the best player. And I really feel like Tyler Linderbaum was signed because of the fans. I mean, you look at, damn, it's lightning. See, y'all see that? Right? You look at some of the biggest, Raider channels on YouTube. They're constantly Tyler Linderbaum, Tyler Linderbaum, Tyler Linderbaum. And I feel like the Raiders went out and overpaid. But those same people were screaming JPJ should be the center. So, I mean, I don't understand that. But yeah, that money for a center to move the market like that, you're ruining the NFL in my opinion, right? When you keep paying these guys way more, and I'm not going to say he's worth it or not worth it, because the offensive line is a very damn good, is a very prestige position. You have to have an offensive line so your quarterback could do his job, right? So your running backs could do their job. But that's a crazy amount of money, bro. A crazy amount of money, right? If it doesn't pan out. And let me know in the comments below. What does Tyler Linderbaum need to do this year to earn that $27 million or whatever he's getting this season? Right? Where's he got to be? Does he need to be in the 80s graded? Does he need to be in the 85s? I mean, to be the highest paid center in the NFL, can you give up 3 sacks and 10 pressures in a season? Are y'all cool with that? If Linderbaum performs as expected or better, then it's definitely if Linderbaum performs as expected or better, it's definitely not an overpay. Yeah, but what are the expectations though? That's what I'm asking. What are the expectations for Linderbaum? No sacks in the season? Because I mean, damn, if you're the highest paid center in the NFL and you have other centers that aren't giving up sacks and you are, to me that's a problem. If you got guys giving up 3, 4 pressures in a season and you're giving up 10, to me that's a problem, right? So let me know, where does he have to be? What does a championship cost? Everything you can throw at it, right? And I said that the last 2 years. I said that when Pete Carroll was hired. If the Raiders fail with Pete Carroll, look for the Raiders to buy a Super Bowl. And by that, I mean go out and spend the most money on everything you can and try to win now. And even though they convinced everybody it's a rebuild, when they got rid of their highest paid player, they got him back. So that rebuild is just a revamp, in my opinion. Let's be realistic. JPJ Cousins will not stay healthy half the season. Where do you see Cousins where do you see us with their backup starting instead? That's a damn good question, Ani Garza. Um, I got two answers. If it's Aiden O'Connell as the backup when Kirk Cousins, if Kirk Cousins goes down, because you said he can't stay healthy through the season. So if that is the case, if it's O'Connell, I mean, I don't know. A game or two over 500, I would say. that would be my guess. If it's Mendoza, I mean, looking at the history of the NFL, quarterbacks starting in their first season, they don't win more than 6 games. So, depending on where he starts and how early, that's all depends. But I don't see JPJ. I don't know. JPJ's got a lot of work to do to be that starting center or the starting guard. I feel like with the way Caleb Rogers is being talked about, the way he's being talked about in camp, from what people are seeing, his work ethic, being the first one in the building, right, being in the weight room, doing all the right things. I think JPJ has a fight on his hand with Caleb Rogers, and if Caleb Rogers wins out, then we don't have to worry about JPJ being healthy for the season, right? And I think that's a big advantage for us. And if he does, something happened to the other starter in Rodgers, then you have JPJ behind him. If they don't get rid of him. So with Cousins, honestly, if Cousins plays to how he's played through his career with the Kubiak, I feel like we could be an 8, 9, 10 win team, right? Whoops, I got to jump over to another Seahawks CC. The team was sold, and the 12s are going nuts. I heard that from Ian Rappaport. Seattle sold the team. They sold it to a guy that owns the 49ers, or part of the 49ers. Which I do believe he had to relinquish his stakes in the 49ers so he could buy the Seattle Seahawks. At least that's my take. I don't know. But yeah, shout out to the new owner of the Seattle Seahawks, man. Y'all got a new owner and everything. It's always the what ifs. That's the thing, man. There's always the what ifs, and then there's the not if but wins, right? It's not if but when. It's not if Kirk Cousins get injured, but when. It's not if JPJ or Colton Miller get injured, it's when. And that's been the norm for the last couple years. But I really feel like with Alex Guerrero in the building, we've stayed pretty healthy, right? But that's going to hurt either way, man. Because when you count on guys being the starter throughout the season and they get injured, then you got to move guys around. I see us signing AOC to a 2-year deal to be the backup for Mendoza, cut Cousins next season. True or false? I can see that. I wouldn't be surprised if they signed him to a 3 or 4-year deal. But AOC said he wants to play. He believes he's a starter in the NFL, and he wants his opportunity. So unless he gets that opportunity in the preseason, I really don't see him being around. I mean, to be honest, I really don't. I feel like his agent or him or whoever is going to request a trade if he doesn't get his opportunity to play. Now, if he legitimately gets beat out by Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza, then maybe that'll change his mind, and maybe they'll be like, all right, we got a good team here. You know the team. They're willing to pay you. Let's stay around. But AOC's, I don't know, man. AOC's lifespan with the Raiders could be coming to an end. I hate to say it. I really do. But I really feel like that's the case. I mean, if he goes out there and shows in the preseason that he's the better quarterback and he doesn't get to play, why would you stay? Why? I'd be out. I see AO staying on the first if they let him play. That's a big if. It's a big if. Rebel, love you being realistic. AOC is better than washed up. Should be retired. Cousins, just hire him as quarterback coach. I, I, I agree, man. I agree. I would not be mad whatsoever if they said, look, we're going to let this kid go out and, see if he could be that guy that he says he is or believes he is. And Kirk Cousins had his time in the NFL, man. He's made billions of dollars. Bro. He's already made close to $1 billion, I think, with the money he's made in the NFL or over. I mean, what do you got to prove at this point, right? If Kirk Cousins is a man of his word and says he doesn't want to play unless he's the best guy, I hope they stay true to that. That's all we can ask for as Raider fans, right? Play the best guy. And if it is Kirk, then shit, let's go out and see what we got with Kirk Cousins. Right? Kirk code chains. I ain't mad at that. That's what Heidi Day said. LOL, that Rebels should be the coach. No. No way, top 15 at best. We are dreaming top 5 with the first year offseason. With this first year offense being in development mode all season, hoping for improvement from game to game. I don't get the development mode though. I mean, I love the take, right? I don't think we're a top 5 anything on any position. We got a long way to go before we prove that. Could we be by the end of the year in some positions? I believe there's some positions we could be top 5 in. We might have the top 5 linebacker group in football. We don't know, right? We could have the top 5 offensive line. We could have the top 5, wide receivers with Kubiak in the building. We don't know. I hit 240. Nice. Shout out to everybody subscribed. We are at 240 and growing. And I still got a jersey to give away for the 2,000 subs. I didn't forget about it. My plug kind of disappeared on me. So I got to find a new plug for the jersey. And as soon as I do, then we'll do the giveaway. So make sure y'all stay tuned. But Arnie Garza, the first year of offense is being in a development mode, right? But the first year of offense was not a development mode in Seattle. Seattle didn't have a developed offense. They had a 28th ranked offensive line. They had a 26th ranked rushing attack. They were like 22nd in receivers, right? They were top 10 in the top 15 in rushing. The receivers passing yards, yards after the catch, they were in the top 10, I do believe, right? Their offensive line went from 28th to 18. So I just don't get why everybody's saying there's a development, right? In 2024, the Raiders ran the same system Kubiak is going to run, just a little bit different, but it's almost the same. It's the West Coast system. You run lots of motion. You run a wide zone with a little bit of inside zone. You scheme guys open. You pass the ball short and let guys work with the football. That's the same thing we had with Luke Getsy in 2024. It's the same thing the Turners did. Clint Kubiak's going to come in and run the same offense that a lot of these players ran 2 years ago. So the development is not going to be as long as people think, right? Colton Miller's been in this system. JPJ's been in this system. Jordan Meredith's been in this system. Spencer Burford's been in this system. I mean, DJ Glaze has been in this system, right? There's a lot of people in the building. Trey Tucker, same system, different verbiage. And once you learn that, it's pretty much the same thing. So I don't think the development is going to take as long as people are expecting. And we should get better from game to game. And that could be scary for the NFL, right? That could be scary as hell. If we get better every single game, instead of, getting worse or hurting ourselves or losing games because of, 100 yards and penalties that we're giving up or, giving up first down after first down because of stupid plays and penalties like we've done in the past. This is a way better team, right? And I feel like this coaching is going to bring that from day one. The mistakes should be cleaned up. It's not going to be 100% cleaned up, but a lot of them are going to be cleaned up, right? The decision making from the quarterback, the run lanes for the running backs, the routes for the receivers. I think all of that's going to be tightened up. Man, you got a convention going on outside. Yeah, them bugs are crazy, bro. Them KD are nuts. Nuts. Yes, bugs everywhere. Arkansas is just as bad as Florida. Just another reason we'll never live east of the I'll never live east of the Rockies. Yeah, Colorado don't have bugs like this, huh? At least I don't remember. Linderbaum will make a difference, but JPJ and Miller don't stay healthy will hurt badly. That's a fact, Arnie Garza. That's a fact. I mean, and again, my predictions and my hot takes or my cold takes or whatever people want to call them, right? My assumptions, my predictions, my projections are all based on the Raiders staying 90% healthy, right? I'm saying you can't lose a JPJ, a Colton Miller, a Tyler Linderbaum, a Max Crosby, right? We can't, right? A Jeremy Chin, right? You can't lose 5, 6, 7 starters and expect this team to compete for anything. We don't have that depth yet, and the guys that we do have for depth are about a bunch of young players, right? And for the young guys, this is a young team. It's going to take, a lot. But we also brought in a lot of veterans that can help those guys along. So, yeah, man, if you lose anybody, and Linderbaum should make a big difference. But how much of a difference is it going to make? And is it going to be worth $81 million, $27 million a year guaranteed? I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole lot of difference you got to make. That's a nice hat. I used to live in Colorado. Arvada and Westminster. Isn't it better to have Linderbaum and JPJ on the field together? I do believe so. I believe so. I believe so. But I guess we can't project and look, to injuries. But if JPJ's not the best guy out there, then no, right? And right now, there's a lot of talk of that guy is Caleb Rogers. So we'll see. But I would love to have JPJ out there because I want to see JPJ have a full season, not changing positions, not being moved around, right? A full camp, playing that position, competing for that position, winning that position, and then staying healthy for a full year. I would love to see what that looks like. But from what he showed so far this year, the expectations of that are like the expectations of us winning a Super Bowl, right? It's just my take. Colorado, Colorado, Colorado. Yes, y'all keep talking nice. Much rather have the humidity over 120 degrees. I don't know, man. I could deal with the dry heat. That humidity is sticky and nasty. Nasty. Yeah, Kulash has given up his 3% stake in San Francisco. Oh, but it was small. I thought it was more than that. That's crazy. And I mean, yeah, I definitely give up 3% in a stake in a team to own one or be majority wherever he's at. Yeah, it's a way better gig. How about Colton Miller staying healthy? True, if Charles Grant and Coots. Cuts. Oh, Coon. Wait, what? Who the hell is Cuts? Grant and Cuts as a backup or move over the Mule DJ Glaze. Um, that's my biggest. That's matter of fact. Can I go back on my answer, Arnie Garza, to my biggest disappointment for the Raiders this year? It's not going to get in the right guard. I mean, I love the Mule DJ Glaze, right? I love he's called the Mule, but he doesn't play like a damn mule. I mean, 10 sacks last year with 500 pressures is not going to cut it, bro. Rick, my guy, what's good? It's been a minute. How you feeling about the season? Right? So I think DJ Glaze is the biggest question mark on the line. And if Grant can compete for that position, or a guy like Dalton Wagner, or some of them UDFAs we brought in, right? I hope, man. I hope. I hope it makes DJ Glaze better. And I think that's our weakest link on the offensive line. I just don't think he has the movement and the footwork to be able to protect against those, guys lining up in the wide nine or the ghost nine or whatever you want to call it. I feel DJ Glaze is just too slow, and unless he gets faster somehow this season, I think that's a problem. But as far as Colton Miller's health, Colton Miller last year was rolled up on, right, and that was just a freak accident. And I kind of felt like he could have came back during the season, right? Like he could have played the last four games. I think he was ready to come back, and they just held him out to get better. So hopefully, with all that time off for Colton Miller, he is what 30 years old, 31, I do believe 30. So when you get up there in age, those injuries linger. But Colton Miller should be 100% healthy, and when he is 100% healthy, bro, he's a top 12 tackle in the league, in my opinion, right? Still, like the dude was killing it last year when he started the season. The year before that, the games he played, right? He gave up some pressures, but he didn't give up a lot of sacks, and he was killing it in the run game. The old man was moving, so I really feel like Colton Miller should have a healthy season this year, and if he stays healthy, that's huge for us because if we lose two players on our offensive line again that are starters, and one being the left tackle, I just don't know if Charles Grant is ready to take that spot. It could be Trey Zune. I don't know. What are your expectations for preseason this season? My expectations are to see who the best damn quarterback is, right? I want to see who looks the best in this system, who knows the system, who's not afraid to let the ball go, who's not making dumbass, mistakes. I want to see this team be consistent. I want to see not a bunch of, mistakes from the starters when they're out there. And then the main thing is I want to see young guys go out there and compete. I want to see these young guys, um, all the way down from the bottom of the depth chart, right? Guys like Dalton Wagner, what's he gonna do? Guys like Jafari Harvey, right? Guys that are not expected to make this roster. Guys like what's my Trevin Maye, right? Trevin May. Those are the dudes I want to see in preseason. So those are my expectations to see the guys that were here last year develop into better players, right? Because if the guys that were here last year show signs of development and show that they're better players than last year, then that makes the team better, right? That makes our depth better. So that's all my expectations are. I don't care about the win-loss records. It would be nice. I would love, 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 love to go out there in a joint practice and dominate Houston. I would love to beat the Cardinals. I would love to beat Houston, and I would love to beat the 49ers in preseason, right? I would love to do that. I think that would put this team, with some confidence, show that, hey, maybe we can go out there and compete against some of these teams, right? So that's my expectations. Dean's health worries me. Linderbaum, Lindenberg was Lindenberg. I can't say it. Will start. How bad is the talent drop off from him instead of Dean? It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. Now, do I believe Cody Lindenberg could be that guy? Yes, but he's yet to prove it, right? He's yet to prove it. We've seen a very small sample size. He didn't get on the field last year at all at linebacker. He played special teams. We seen him in the preseason. He made a couple of plays, but he didn't look great in coverage, right? But if you're telling me he's that Mike linebacker, I think that's his spot, bro. Like, I think he can eat at that spot. There's been a lot of talk of him looking night and day from last year, so the drop off is going to be a little bit. But I think Cody Lindenberg can hold it down. Now, if Nakobe Dean doesn't start the season because of the injury, and it's only a couple games, I think we'll be fine, man. I think we'll fine. I think we'll be fine. I know people ain't liking the depth, but we got Cody Lindenberg, Tommy Eichenberg. Hopefully Xavier Sori makes the team. You know, they got guys like what the hell, Brennan that they brought over from the Rams last year. So there's depth. There's depth. It's just depth that we don't know what we have yet. He was saying Zune, not Kun. Yeah, got it. Appreciate you. Question: is the most important preseason game or Texans what intern practice with the Raiders? Question: is the most important game or Texans intern practice with the Raiders? You mean the joint practice or the game? I'd say preseason. I'd say preseason. I think the joint practice is really going to help us tremendously. I mean, you get to play 4 games. I thought it was 5. I thought we had a joint practice with the Carolina Panthers, but I guess they backed out and decided they were going to have a joint practice with the Texans. So the Texans get 5 games in the preseason instead of us, I guess. But yeah, man, both games are big, but I feel like the preseason game is going to be the biggest because from what the coaches have said, that's the game that tells who the quarterback is going to be pretty much, right? They know if like they don't already, but they know who the quarterback is going to be. They're going to have pretty much most of their roster, already listed. And then I really feel like there's about 45 or 46 guys on this roster that are pretty much penciled in for the spot. That leaves what, 6 or 7 spots from the rookies and guys that were brought in free agency. So yeah, those games are huge, man. Those games are huge. You're gonna have probably anywhere from 8 to 10 guys trying to make a roster spot. Because I could say the guys that I know are guaranteed pretty much spots, but then there could be 15 spots open. I don't feel like there's 15 spots open on this roster, just from what I'm hearing. But we don't know. We shall see. Oh, Benoit and Batty. This is gonna be a fight, bro. It's gonna be a fight. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody who's been rocking for 2 hours. I didn't think I was gonna be on this long, but as long as y'all guys got questions, I'm gonna stay on and talk football. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. But the last subject of the day. Make sure I get in everything I wanted to get in for the live 2 hours later, but y'all are still here. So the Max Crosby. What do y'all feel about Max Crosby and the Sack Summit? Do you feel like Max Crosby should be out there racing guys at the Sack Summit when he's trying to rehab a knee and be ready for the season? Or do y'all feel like, if he's good enough and well enough to be out there, I don't know. Let me know how y'all feel. I know y'all, if you follow this channel, you know how I feel about the Sack Summit. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I know what they're trying to do there, and I respect everything that you're trying to do there. But for Max Crosby to do it every year before the season starts, you're telling all these guys um, what you're thinking, how you're trying to set guys up, what your mindset is, your moves to get these guys set up, your moves to beat guys. And you don't think these defensive tackles are edge rushers are taking it back to their team and being like, hey, in practice, I'm going to try this move right here because this is what Max Crosby does, right? So when you were playing against those teams and those guys are there, I think it just hurts the team. That's just my opinion, bro. And the fact that you weren't out in camp because you weren't ready, but now you're out there running in the sack summit, I don't know. To me, that just irritates me. And maybe I'm just, a bitchy Raider fan and I'm just grumpy in my old age. But I just see no point in it. I really don't. Now, Von Miller and those guys trying to help the young guys, that's great, right? Von Miller probably won't play this year. If he does, I mean, we don't know. But I can see guys that are retired out there trying to do it. But guys that are on a squad, that are out there giving the information of, how they set guys up and how they go about attacking guys and how they beat double teams and the moves they use. I don't know. To me, I just think that hurts more than it helps. Question. Arnie Garza says, who will be more of an impact, Payne or Kuntz, on helping Max? I'm gonna have to say Kuntz, man. I'm gonna have to say Kuntz. He's way faster. He's got way more bend. He's got damn good technique. He's got violent physical hands. I just think he needs to work on the run game, right? He's not good at run. He's not good at stopping the run. He's not good at containing the run. But he's a damn good pass rusher. Malcolm Kuntz is a dog when healthy. And I feel like, coming a year after off of the injury, or almost a year and a half, going on 2 years now since the injury. I really feel like Malcolm Kuntz is going to have a big year, right? Rob Leonard loves Malcolm Kuntz. And I feel like Rob Leonard is the type of guy, like he said, like I am. He's a Raider, right? He's a Raider. He has that Raider mentality. I feel he's going to put the best guys on the field to help this team. But I really feel like he has a love for those guys like that have been here for a minute, right? Jonah Laulu, Malcolm Kuntz. And again, his get off, Malcolm Kuntz's get off, his speed, his technique, it's filthy, bro. He should be one of the top defensive ends in the league, in my opinion, right? I've been waiting for him to do that. Ever since that 8 sacks in 9 games or 10 games, whatever it was. I mean, the man went crazy, right? And then got injured. So I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder. He has a lot to prove. He believes that he's worth more than 12 million or 11 million a season, and he has to go out and show it. So I feel like Kuntz is going to have a better year than Kwity Paye. Just my opinion. I don't know how much Paye is going to be out there, really. I think the plan, once Max Crosby got back, the plan for Kwity Paye changed a lot. Oh, he come out swinging. Oh, he got your neck, bro. He's going to choke you out already. Oh, no. He got his neck like a python. Oh, you done, bro. You done. You better tap. This fight is not going to last long. He got his neck pythoned up. Turn, just twist that neck up. There you go. Oh, that is deep. Golly, how is he still breathing? Oh my goodness, that is tight, bro. Damn. I'm out. Peace. Look at Daddy Batty come out and choke him out. Choke him out. Put him night. Done. Not even a minute. Over. Lights out. Good night. Peace out, my brother Doppelganger. Appreciate you. Troy in the building. Agree with Rebels. Take because he does his research. We need to trade Max before he overworks himself to injury. True or false? I agree, bro. True. It's true. I think 8 years in the NFL. The last 3 years you've been injured, ankles, knees, knees. I just don't know how long Max has left, and that's why I keep saying we need to win now. The Raiders have the best opportunity to win now. It's not next year. It's not the year after. I don't care about Fernando Mendoza going to be the future. That's the future, the future. But the time is now, and we have Kirk Cousins that can run the ship, and we have Aiden O'Connell that can run a ship. We have guys in the building that can run a ship. The defense should be better. The offense is going to be better. I mean, probably 100 times better with Clint Kubiak, right? The time is now. You're never going to have another Max Crosby in the building. Right? You're never going to have another healthy Max in the building. I don't even know if he's healthy to play 100% this year. But if he doesn't make it through this year, then yes, that's a huge problem. So yeah, you have to go out and win now, like it's the last thing on earth, right? With a young team and a first year coach, because you don't know the future of Max, right? He could play 2 games, he could play 17 games, he could play 19 games. We don't know, right? We don't know. So yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know about the trade, man. It is what it is. If Max wants to be here for life and he produces, he's going to be here for life. But I feel like if a team needs him, they're going to come calling if he's playing at the clip he used to, right? If Max is playing at the clip that he was last year and the year before, even with the injuries, I don't know why a team that feels like they're a defensive edge away from making it to the playoffs and making a run wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks. But I know one thing: the Raiders ain't giving them up for less than 2 first-round picks. Spytek has made it very clear. He stood on his business. I've heard from multiple people that there's been teams that have offered. There's been a lot of teams that have offered less, and they're not interested. They're not interested. They have a set rate. If you want Mags, it's 2 first, and then we'll talk. So other than that, there's going to be no talking. And I just don't feel there's a team. There might be 1 or 2 teams that might be willing to give up 2 first, but not until they see him play in the preseason and not until they see him, at least play a game or 2. I still can't believe he said Flock Nation. And that's another thing, right? That for some people, they're not going to get over that shit. And I'm one. I'm one, right? I felt like Max Crosby took out a big ass knife like Crocodile Dundee and stuck that shit in my chest when he said that. I mean, come on, bro. All the Max Crosby shit I bought, all the shirts that I don't wear no more because of that, the jerseys that I have. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought it was shit, bro. The nation never did anything to Max Crosby, right? 90% of the nation loves Max Crosby. He's the greatest thing on earth, and they worship the ground he walks on. But to say Flock Nation, when you know damn well you were sticking it in the heart of the nation, and you did that shit on purpose, in my opinion. You said that shit on purpose. You know there's one nation. More than anybody. You've been here 8 years. You ride or die with the nation. You always say this is the greatest fan base, right? They're the hardest fan base. And then you go out and do that shit. Like, you can't take that back, bro. You can't take it back. You can't take that back. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But forgive and forget. I can forgive, but I'll never forget. So, all right, man. It's been 2 hours. I appreciate everybody rocking in the building. Y'all have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your Sunday. And after tomorrow, the Raiders will be 8 Sundays away from football. Protect your mind, yourself, and your family. And as always, hold a commitment of excellence to yourself. Just win. Baby! Raiders! It's either Raider Nation or Urination. Even the dog said that was bull. Yeah, the dog didn't like it either. Tonka Hemingway was not down with that. But yeah, I'm sure Max knows. I'm sure Max knows that, Something you should have never said, bro. You never said. But peace out, man. I appreciate y'all. Enjoy y'all's night. All love.